Evening at the Movies is a proud member of the I Did Not Make These Rankings podcast network. Other shows in the network include Mass Debaters, The Sip List, Crushgasm, Love is Black, Men Are the Prize, Crime Rewind, and Literature Reapers. You can find out all about our shows and more at idnmtrpodcastnetwork.com. Happy listening. You are now entering the world of a movie review. A world full of drama, joy, ridicule, movie spoilers, unpopular opinions, and adult humor for as far as the eye can see. Welcome to An Evening at the Movies.
Talk amongst yourselves for a second. I'm changing the privacy settings on the episode because I'm getting better at remembering to do that. But save, it's available wherever you get your podcast listening fix.
If I remind you, I get yelled at. If I don't remind you, you're like, okay.
Me.
I
It's
heard
Sunday.
you on the wireless back in 52, lying awake
Wow.
on you. If I was young, it didn't stop you coming through. Oh. I'm just trying to keep the people entertained while you do your thing.
Well, I already did it.
Oh, okay. I'm going to warn you in advance and everybody else that's watching and listening. I'm in a very musical mood today. Blame the movie, not me, but you're going to get some singing.
Oh, I have a feeling we'll be talking in depth about the epic greatness that was the soundtrack for this movie.
That was just a preview.
With all of that said, though, I have a microphone and you will listen to every damn word I have to say.
Another outburst, and I'm going to choke you with my microphone cable, all right?
Right there. I don't think it's long enough to stretch all the way to Fort Worth, though. So
you will listen to every damn word I have to say. I will also be doing Adam Sandler impressions. You're welcome.
Insanely quotable Adam Sandler movie.
One of the most quotable. Yeah. George and I quote this movie on the regular, which I have a whole segment about when we get to it, but we're not there yet.
Would that segment happen to be a Sip List segment?
No, I did something else for that because we're just going to talk about all the quotes until we run out of time or quotes. So take your pick.
So basically, we're going to start with the opening line of the movie, and much like with the Ghostbusters episode, just go all the way through the whole freaking movie until we get to.
See, Billy Idol gets it. I don't know why she doesn't get it.
Exactly.
Let's see what I did there with your screen name and the movie.
So, we're
y'all are a treat.
Over 3 minutes into the episode, and I haven't even done the freaking intro yet. So, you know what? Fuck it. Welcome back, everybody. This is An Evening at the Movies, everybody's favorite movie-based podcast. And I feel like I've forgotten to say this the last few weeks, so I'm going to get back to reminding everybody that this is where you come to eat the stale popcorn, you drink the watered down sodas, and you talk about all your favorite movies and why we love them. Yeah. We are smack dab in the middle of the rom-com month. We've tried to buy some love with Can't Buy Me Love. Kendra and I talked. No comment. We have.
I think they were prostitutes. I don't remember paying. Okay, sorry.
Sorry. We have talked about romance, comedy, and curses last week with Kendra for Fever Pitch. Dare I say this week we're going to talk about one of the greatest rom-com couples of all time.
Yes. I wish they were married in real life.
But before we get to that, I have to say welcome back full-time for the episode this week, co-host.
Thanks. Sorry about last week. Flights delayed and all that. But I'm here. I'm ready in my Bowie shirt.
Well, I mean,
Hot Topic original.
was kind of funny, literally, because for those of you who watched and or listened last week, you will remember that Amanda was here last week. Literally, as I was getting ready to thank you and we hope you all come back for an evening at the movies, popped up on the screen. We ended up going another 15 minutes or so after she showed up. But
Yeah, I mean,
it was fun. It was great. She showed up and threw in her 2 cents on um, Jimmy Fallon and Drew Barrymore, not Adam Sandler and Drew Barrymore. But Drew Barrymore is so nice, we're going to do her twice.
yeah, we are.
So,
She's good
yes,
at the
we're
rom
going to
com.
be
I
talking.
mean, we could have done the entire month of just Drew Barrymore rom coms because I had Fever Pitch, Wedding Singer, Never Been Kissed, 51st Dates. That's the whole month right there. We could have just done that.
And that doesn't even account for there's a few others that could have been thrown in there as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
Ever After.
That's not a rom com, bro.
It's close enough. Hey, if My Girl is a rom com,
My Girl is not a rom com.
yes, it is. I swear to God, when I Googled it, it popped up on Google with the little subgenres across the top as Ted
I
Rom
don't think
Com.
rom com means what you and Dre think it means. You keep using that word. I don't think it means what you think it means. Anyway,
Well, no, Kendra and I discussed the very definition of rom com
to dramedy.
last week. It
Plus,
is
they're
what
best
it is.
friends. It's not
But
even romantical. They have a little kiss because they're kids and they're trying to like test the waters. And then they're both like, yeah, they're children. It's not a romantic comedy. Okay, well, I'll give you Dan Aykroyd and Jamie Lee. Their romance is kind of cute, but it also happens really fast and behind the scenes. It's not a rom com. Anyway, y'all miss Chansey meltdowns. You got Amanda meltdowns. Not quite the same, but they're faster and less complicated.
yeah, but they're not anywhere near as entertaining as a Chancey Meltdown.
This is true.
So, um, hashtag wherever you are out in witness protection land, we miss you, Chancey. Hurry home. Um,
I mailed my second letter for him to the FBI yesterday, so hopefully they can figure that out. Find him. It's full. It's ridden with code. So wink, wink.
as it very well should be.
Yeah.
Um, I
I tried to
have,
see a man about a horse.
as everybody knows, um, uh, well, as Amanda knows, we got a couple weeks ago voice clips from Girl Casey, and one of them referenced the fact of a couple of books that he's had a chance to read while being hidden away. So
It really
the
sounds like
the
he's in Minsk. I get a really Minsk-esque feeling from his voice messages. Just saying. If
yeah,
anybody wanted to go to Minsk to look for him, I think that might be a safe place to try first. Anybody that's interested in finding him, that's where you should look.
well, at the same time, without getting too much into the subject that we don't do very often on an evening at the movies, in the current climate in this country, Russia is not the place that I would recommend going
No,
anywhere.
they are not the one.
So, but
But quick PSA for unmarried women, or actually, this is for unmarried women and also for all Americans. If you are unmarried and planning to marry, do not take your husband's last name, and every American get a fucking passport because if you ever want to vote again, you need a passport, especially if you have changed your name. Check out the Save Act and we'll move on. But I'm just saying, check it out. It's a real fucking thing. And they called us crazy when we said they were coming for our votes and buy us some and they're coming for it. So get a passport, keep your maiden name. That's your PSA. Have a good day.
with all of that said, though, if you could not tell from all the clues before the PSA and referencing of our long lost friend Chancy Greif, hurry home. Um, Adam Sandler, Drew Barrymore, 51st Dates was thrown out there, but obviously that's not the one we're talking about, which means it can only be one other Adam Sandler, Drew Barrymore movie. We're
That's not
talking.
true. There's two others.
Is there two?
Well, there's one other besides this one in 51st Dates. Blended.
Uh,
Not very. I
I
mean, it
forget about that
wasn't
one
super
too.
popular, but it was
It
cute. I
wasn't.
liked it.
It wasn't as great as the
Oh
others,
no.
but we're talking about the other one. Not Blended, not 51st Dates, but we're going to talk about The Wedding Singer.
Video killed the radio star. Video killed the radio star. In my mind, in my oh God, somebody has to stop me. I'm gonna do it the whole time.
And get us thrown off of YouTube.
Yep.
Not true, because as long as there's not the actual, I believe I've read the fine print enough that as long as the music and the lyrics aren't playing in the background, then they won't
Yeah.
86 us.
I'm singing totally off key. They're not gonna. We're not gonna get in trouble for me. Now, if I wanted to start playing "Video Kill the Radio Star," add the drums in there, maybe, but I'm still singing off key, so I think we're fine.
Yes. I need to. Oh, fuck it. I'll just.
What's
Um,
happening?
I'm pulling up my background information on so I can do
Oh,
the.
well, I mean,
Why?
it's a 80s movie that was made in the 90s, so you gotta love how like 80s the 80 when you're making a movie in the decade it actually takes place, you don't know that you're really making fun of yourself, whereas when you're going back in time in a movie you can definitely tell they're making fun of it, and I love that about this movie. But
Oh,
it's they're making fun of it, but they're also paying homage to it. Like it's not shitting on it, it's just like this is a celebration of 80s and like punk 80s, not like pop 80s for the most part. I mean,
but it doesn't steer clearly away from pop 80s either.
right.
It still holds on to the essence of what is 80s music,
I mean, you get
sometimes
Madonna and you get,
repeatedly.
Hall and Oates, but you also get, Depeche
Uh,
Mode and The Cure and Psychedelic Furs and just like, you know, more of the more punky stuff.
yeah,
You get Flock of Seagulls, but it's Space Age Love Song, which happens to be my favorite of theirs, not. Do you like Flock of Seagulls? I can tell you do.
exactly. So, for those of you who don't know, um, the Wedding Singer released on Valentine's Day weekend, 1998, February 13th. It was directed by Frank Karachi. It was distributed by New Line Cinema. Had a budget of $18 million,
Dang.
and dare I say, probably was one of the most successful Adam Sandler movies for a while,
Yeah.
with a whopping budget of $123.3 million.
Well, this is heartfelt Adam Sandler. Like, yes, he's still being a goofball with the voices and whatever, but
Mhm.
it's not the whole movie isn't a caricature like Billy Madison, which not shitting on Billy Madison, fucking love that movie. And I love
No,
the
Billy
crossover
Madison,
of
Happy
actors.
Gilmore are
Yeah,
classic Adam Sandler movies.
but this is a rom-com. It's more heartfelt and him actually, doing some acting and not just, making a mockery of himself, which again, love both of those things, but I love this a little bit more because yeah, it's actually really sweet, and his chemistry with Drew Barrymore is top notch.
Well, I think this is also the era in his career where emotion and all of that kind of sort of started to slowly seep into the
Yeah.
movies that he was. I mean, he Wedding Singer came out about this time. shortly thereafter, 51st Dates came out. In between
Yeah.
all that, you had Big Daddy.
Oh
Don't
yeah, Big Daddy. Yeah,
don't
love
get me started on Scuba Steve.
that. Damn you! I say that at least once a week. Anytime I want to say damn it or damn you, I always follow it up with Scuba Steve.
Yeah,
Or
well,
start it with Scuba Steve, however which way it goes.
it's
Scuba Steve, damn you.
one of the most iconic Adam Sandler lines of all time.
And don't forget the Sprouses. I wiped my own ass.
Oh, I hate that scene, but that I wipe my own ass. It's still
Well, it's better than
ugly,
putting papers
ugly,
down for him.
ugly tears streaming down the
Yeah.
cheeks, and then all of a sudden, but I wipe my own ass.
Oh God, yeah. Let's not, because I think I'm probably PMSing because I have been a crying mess the past few days over stupid shit. But that is one of the things I like about this movie is that it makes me laugh so hard I cry, but it also makes me cry because I'm happy. And in the words of Tom Hanks on Black Jeopardy, if I can laugh, cry, and happy cry in the same 90 minutes, that is money well spent.
Exactly.
That's not what he said, but I changed it a little.
Well,
If I can
we're
pray and laugh in the same 90 minutes, that is money well spent.
so. Would you like to wager a guess as to what the two Rotten Tomato scores are before we move into your description?
Yeah, I mean, I have not been on point in a while because we're doing so many movies that I love, and I feel like I'm overshooting them based on how I feel about it. But for me, I haven't read any reviews about this movie, and I may do it after we're done. But I'm just gonna go ahead and tell everybody now. I have zero bad things to say about this movie, and I feel like most people would be hard pressed to find anything bad to say about it, unless you just don't like Adam Sandler. In which case, that's a you problem, not a movie
Yeah,
problem. Um, I'm probably gonna say the critics didn't like it as much as the people. So for the popcorn
that
meter,
would be a safe bet.
yeah, I mean, because this isn't a critically acclaimed type movie. This movie isn't winning Oscars. Um, Critics can bite me. Um, if I were scoring it, I'm gonna say the popcorn meter is gonna be like 83%. I really, again, I know I overshoot it a lot, but I have never heard anybody say a bad thing about this movie. Critics, let's go with like 74. I'm still shooting high, but yeah. So 74 and 80, what did I say? 85? 84? 3. Okay, see, I don't even remember. I'm covering the spread
With
for Chansey.
you overshot both of them,
Oh, yeah, typical.
but I will say this: you, if you were to add the overshot of your overshotness together, you only overshot by about 5% total.
Yeah, I didn't understand any of that.
The tomato meter on 250,000 plus reviews,
Wow. Okay.
80%.
Ooh, okay. So I was close. All
So
right.
you didn't overshoot, but you only overshot by 3%.
Oh,
And
wait, was that
then
the tomato meter or the pop? That's the
that's the
critic score or the audience score?
that's pop meter.
Okay.
So by Pearl,
Oh, man. No, it's not pearl. I need a tissue. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I don't have any.
were you that happy about being that close to the tomato meter
Oh,
or the
yeah, I'm
popcorn
that
meter?
happy, but you just can't see it.
Oh hell no. And on 69 reviews on the tomato meter, the critics gave it a 72%.
Ooh, so I was really close. Okay.
On well, that's why I said if you add them all together,
Okay.
you're not very far off.
That's the closest I've been in a while.
Very much so. But
I mean, I guess I feel like you and I are going to have the same thoughts about this movie like we do about most movies. So maybe we should go read some of the reviews, or if anybody's watching live and you want to comment, Other than not liking Adam Sandler or his type of comedy, you're not allowed to use that as a reason. If there's anything else bad you
Right?
can say about this movie, I would like to hear it because I literally there's just nothing bad about this movie, in my opinion.
No, I mean, even like last week when Kendra and I were talking about Fever Pitch and how almost perfectly put together that is as a rom com,
Yeah.
you have a very high standard of meeting the definition of rom com for Fever Pitch. The Wedding Singer is still head and shoulders
Yeah, I mean,
above that movie, and I love both movies.
yeah.
So,
And Fever Pitch is interesting. I really wish I had been there because I kind of touched on it, but I had some stuff to say about this because yes, it's like over dramatized for humor, but for anybody who is with somebody who is obsessed with sports, me, that is a real life problem that some people have. And it's like, you know, they address it in a funny way,
but it's very real, and
but it is very real.
we did talk about the Yankee and the Red Sox aspect of that
Yeah.
because, like we said, or like even like Amanda said too, sports fanatics are very fanatical about their sports, but then you factor in Red Sox fans and Yankee fans and people who are that Dallas Cowboy
Insane.
fans
Eagles
are
fans.
Eagles fans. Yeah,
Eagles fans are in a whole separate sector because they're assholes. They're just assholes. Sorry. Sorry. I'm sure it's not all of you, but
Oklahoma Sooner fans.
oh, fuck off. People
But
in Oklahoma are
no,
nice.
it, it definitely. Maybe next week on our episode, we'll carve out some time so that Amanda can officially, give us her thoughts on that movie as
No, I
well.
mean I did. I just I that was the thing I liked about Fever Pitch was that it did address a thing that can be a real relationship issue. Maybe
Mhm.
not to that far of a point, but also, yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I
I
don't
mean,
necessarily know about that. I mean,
I
personally,
just
me, I'm not spending $100,000 on season tickets for a baseball game.
no. I just can't imagine letting something that is that much out of your control ruin your entire day or week or life. Like, it is just a game. I know I'm gonna get slapped in the face for saying that. That was one of when we did the what hot takes or things to trigger a fan base. That was one of mine. It is just a
Mhm.
game. Like, and that's the thing I like about the dinner scene when they're at the bar and the guys are having dinner. Yes, they care about their fans, but they don't give a. That's their job. Once they leave their job, they're living their life just like the rest of us. They're just living it a lot more
Yeah.
elegantly.
Well, no, and I mean it makes sense, but then even like we had brought up last week too, though, there is the whole aspect of it's the Red Sox are something that Jimmy Fallon's character connected with
Right,
his uncle over, and he didn't have a father figure in his life, and his uncle was that, and
right.
he taught him all this history and lore and everything that goes along with the mystique of being a Red Sox fan.
And he didn't
So
have someone to share his life with and realize that you do have to compromise in a relationship. I mean,
exactly,
I told that story about George and he has gotten a lot better. Like he would never what he did to me when we first started dating because he was pissed about the Buckeyes losing and I said it's just a game and he completely ditched me and left me at a stadium. Like he would never do that now. But
yeah. You don't tell
you have to
Buckeye
grow.
fans or Wolverine fans it's just a
Yeah.
game after their team loses.
But we were having a good day. We were tailgating, we were having fun, we were there to watch OU, and I was like, "Why are you letting this ruin our entire day that we're getting to spend with our friends and together and whatever?" So, yeah, but to be fair, he didn't, that was what he had put his heart into at the time, just like
Yeah,
Jimmy in that movie. That was his entire heart was the Red Sox. So,
yeah.
anyway, we're way off topic. Sorry.
Way, way, way off topic, and we have a whole lot of stuff that we got to cover this episode.
All right.
So
Well, here we go. For anybody who hasn't seen it, where have you been? But The Wedding Singer.
Right? What the fuck?
Um, Adam Sandler plays Robbie Hart, a nice guy with a broken heart who's stuck in one of the most romantic jobs in the world, a wedding singer. He loses all hope when he is abandoned at the altar by his fiancée. Bitch. He meets a young woman named Julia who enlists his help to help plan her wedding and falls in love with her and must win her over before she ties the knot. Hey, Linda, you're a bitch. That's not
Take my
nice.
Van Halen shirt off before you jinx them and they break up.
So that is one that is one that I say at least once a week. Hey, psycho. I skip the middle part, but I just go, "Hey, psycho, get out of my Van Halen t-shirt before you jinx the band and they break up." You know I say that. Like, that is just one of my favorites. I say it all the time.
Which, I mean, the irony of that line, because how many
Right.
times has that band broken up, gotten back together, changed lead singers, changed back
Yeah.
lead singers, brought original lead singers back, and then 2 hours later fired them again.
It's Van Halen, not Van Hagar.
Exactly. So,
But
um,
yeah, that is one of my favorites. Anytime someone says psycho, that's immediately what my mind goes to. Well, that too, but if someone calls someone a psycho, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Hey, Linda, you're a bitch. Sorry, I love that part. It's always funny when kids cuss. I mean, come on, let's
those,
be real.
especially those two kids, because they're so out of left field, and
Yeah, cuckoo's
like,
nest, cuckoo's nest. He's dressed as Freddy Krueger. Go back to
oh
the
my
boiler
god,
room.
those kids are freaking. Those kids steal the damn movie, and not that it needs to be stolen, but
I don't know. I've
every,
got.
go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was just say I have a few other side characters that I feel like really steal the movie too.
Oh, fucking, what's her face? Old lady.
Rosie.
Yeah, and her freaking
I had
singing
a
lessons for
course with
two
8 men.
meatballs.
Yes. Now take a bite so I can watch you enjoy it. That's my favorite part. She's so cute.
And of course, the most amazing part of her in that entire freaking movie, the grandma rap.
Yep. I said hip hop, hippy to the hippy to the hip hip hop, and you don't stop rocking to the bang bang. Okay, sorry. I also love Steve Buscemi as the brother-in-law guy, both at the beginning and then at the end when he's singing the song. Like, he's just hilarious. He's one of my favorites.
Well, it
So
makes sense. I
what you
mean, he's
thought, Dad? Remember we
he's
met
the
up with those? Well,
disgruntled
I think
brother.
they were prostitutes. I don't remember paying though. He's and
I
I'm sorry. You keep starting to talk.
Buscemi is one of those people that he definitely pops up in early Adam Sandler films
Yes,
and comes out of left field and
I love him in
leaves you
this.
kind of. I love him in this one. The whole creepy
Billy Madison.
recluse in Billy
Yeah,
Madison. It's like,
glad I
it,
called that guy. We were talking
right?
about that when we met up with Kendra and her husband. That was one of those scenes we were talking about that for a while. Like, glad I called that guy. And I love he's one of those people, kind of like Ben Affleck. Adam Sandler is one of those people that really brings his friends along with him, or
Mhm.
used to anyway. They were both very observant of how they got where they were and were happy. Not that Steve Buscemi needed Adam Sandler for his career, but that was early Steve Buscemi, and
Yeah.
it yeah, it's like okay, you see the same people in some of the same movies, but also it's nice to see people who know where they came from and appreciate that they didn't get there on their own. And so when they start having success, they want to share it with the people who helped them get there. And Adam Sandler is one of those people.
Yeah. I mean, well, for those of you not in mine and Amanda's age gap, you know, Adam Sandler got his start on a little, very less known TV show called The Cosby Show.
What? I do not remember him on the Cosby Show.
You seriously?
No. But dude, I haven't seen the Cosby Show all the way through since like the
Okay,
90s.
that makes sense because The Cosby Show isn't necessarily ran on TV a whole lot anymore.
Right. And now with streaming we could watch it, but I mean, the thing is it was in syndication
No,
for
you
so
can't.
long. Oh, okay, well, okay.
You can
But
rent it, but yeah,
it
nobody's
wasn't
touching that with a
really that
10-foot pole.
much after this. So yeah, I haven't. There are definitely episodes I remember, and there's some I've seen multiple times, but no, I do not remember him on that show.
Oh, okay. Well, then refresher course.
A
The
little lesser known
last,
show called Saturday Night Live.
well,
That's
no, Saturday Night Live, yeah, but Adam Sandler actually, the last year or two of Theo being in high school was one of Theo's best friends that he ran
where.
around with.
Okay, I could see that. Yeah, I don't remember
Um,
that,
the infamous prom episode where they're taking flying lessons and gonna show up at the prom in a helicopter and
but
all. Hi, George.
Hello.
take her with you.
Come on, girl.
um, but he was one of the friends in that whole scenario. But he left the Cosby Show to go on to, a little 50-year-old TV show called Saturday Night Live, and then basically left Saturday Night Live to roll into a mildly successful movie career.
Yeah,
Where there
very.
for a while he was one of the highest paid actors in Hollywood.
Yeah, he was amazing.
So there is all of that. Okay, there we may as well just get to the elephant in the room because one of the easy topics that needs to be talked about this episode is the massive epicness of the soundtrack for this movie.
Yeah, and not
Dare I?
even just
I mean,
songs they.
go.
We've got to figure out this delay thing. I swear I'm
I
not trying to
know.
you.
I know you're not.
Not even just the songs that they play, like just the regular songs, but the songs that he does covers of, and even like the instrumental of it. What was it? Hold Me Now? No, it wasn't Hold Me Now. What was the instrumental at
Hold Me
his?
Now was in there.
No, I know, but I'm thinking of at the wedding. Just a small town girl. Yeah, as it was Don't Stop Believing.
Oh,
And
yeah.
it's just
Don't
all
stop believing.
instrumental. Like, this is a love letter to the 80s. I love it so much.
Well, I mean, in a lot of ways, a lot of Adam Sandler movies, especially back in the day, the early Adam Sandler movies were love letters to the 80s,
Yeah. And of course,
whether,
George.
he's paying tribute to Styx or
Yeah.
Jethro Tull or whoever.
Do you really want to hurt me? And there's Steve Buscemi again. Ooh, I like her.
Oh my God.
Oh man. Yeah,
Oh Lord.
I played this CD, and what's crazy is when the original soundtrack came out, it wasn't even nearly all the songs. It was just like some of the most popular ones, or maybe ones they could get rights to. But I played this on repeat in the 90s
Which is why they
or to late 90s. You know what I mean?
came out with the volume 2.
Yeah. And then, of course,
Because,
what?
well, no, I'm just going to say, it, you had that greatness in the volume 1,
Yeah.
but yet still so much got left out and had to get included on a volume 2. So,
Because they included the more, I think, more poppy songs like Video Killed the Radio Star, Every Little Thing She Does Is Magic, um, Hold Me Now. I'm trying White Wedding. But then you also got a few like you got China Girl. China Girl, speaking of Bowie, China
yeah.
Girl wasn't like a huge hit unless you What people who aren't our age do not understand is that in the 80s, the only way you could hear music was on the radio, or if you got some kind of underground tape, or you went to like a dive bar or maybe a record store. Like, there was not access to music the way we have access
Circle
to
of
music.
Doom.
So basically what the radio gave you was what you got, unless you went out and bought tapes, or
Records.
it just wasn't the same. And so I like that they used some lesser known songs that now we all know and appreciate, but in the 80s they weren't as popular because they weren't as accessible.
Yeah.
So
Well,
yeah.
and luckily coming out of the 80s, everything got condensed from, huge freaking records down to these little, for lack of a better term, compact discs. So you could buy more of them and, store more of them and become a hoarder.
This is a CD player. You want to play a record? No, it doesn't play records. It plays CDs. Cost me $700. Holy shit.
Yeah, I remember, just to speak on that though, yeah, CD players were that expensive back in the day. For those of you who don't remember, like when VHS first came out as well, buying a commercial videotape was not cheap either.
Yeah.
Those were like $85 a freaking pop.
Well, and he definitely had, I mean, he had got a CD player, but it was like a whole receiver, part of a sound system. Like,
Yeah.
stereos are another thing that aren't what they used to be in the 80s. Like, a stereo was a giant production with a receiver and a turntable and a cassette player, and they were all different pieces, and you had all these different speakers. And it's just like a stereo system is not like what it used to be in the 80s. And so, yeah, I mean, I remember my first CD player. I think I had a stereo record player, and then I got in the early 90s when they started making, they weren't boom boxes anymore, but they were still like tabletop size stereos. And
Yeah.
I got one for Christmas with a CD player, and my first CD was Crisscross.
Jump, jump.
Everybody jump, jump, the Mac
See,
Daddy.
and now the beauty is we have these little rectangular devices
Yeah,
that you can plug a damn speaker into, or you can get a docking station, and
right.
bam, there's your freaking stereo system.
I
Where,
just
like Amanda said, you had record players, stereos, receivers, however many speakers you ran into the damn machine, spread out throughout your house. You know,
Yeah. I do still love records though. I mean, for one, I like the sound. I know it's nowhere near the same quality, but if you have a good record player, and it's just a different kind of sound that is nostalgic for us. But also,
Mhm.
you weren't skipping songs on a record. Like, and that's another thing that, yeah, you might not have heard stuff on the radio, but you were going to listen to every damn word that album had to say because you couldn't skip songs, like on a cassette
Well,
or a
I mean,
CD or whatever.
you could, but you also run the risk of scratching the record, which makes the record skip, and then you
Yeah,
have
I
to
mean,
go
you
out.
had to physically do it. You couldn't press a button.
Yeah, no,
You had to
but
manually pick up the needle and move it, and nobody's doing that.
well, no, especially if you're like all the way across the room, and it's like, oh, I
Yeah,
kind of like that song here. Let me go put it back. No, you had to go all the way across the freaking room, pick up the thing, and hope to God you didn't scratch the record.
right.
Because then, if you scratched the record, then you had to go buy a new record. And
And even with a cassette, I wasn't skipping unless I really hated the song because you had to time it perfectly. And again, you still had to get up and walk across the room to do it, just like to
yeah,
change the TV back when we were kids. My God, we're so fucking old. But cassettes were really the first time you could start skipping stuff because you could fast forward, but it was still a manual fast forward. It wasn't like clicking the arrow on your phone or even on a CD player and it automatically goes
well,
straight to the next song.
no, that was the one thing I fell in love with my first CD player was this little button called repeat
Oh,
that you
yeah.
could push, and then it would just play the one song over and over and over
Right.
and over and over and over. got annoying as hell, but you could literally listen to one song on a loop over it.
But you could also do it with the whole thing. So, like, when I was in high
Yeah.
school, I would listen to, like, at Christmas time, I would put on the Nutcracker. I had it on CD, and I would just have it play on a loop all night long. And I do the same with, like, the Beauty and the Beast soundtrack. Like, I did that a lot with Disney soundtracks, like with, instrumental music, orchestra type stuff. But yeah, this soundtrack is amazing. Obviously because of the diversity of the songs that we get, but then also the original songs. Like Grow Old With You was the last dance song at our wedding, so I have a very soft spot for it, and I picked it because I was like, it's a perfect song to end on. It ends the movie. Well, except for Robbie and Julia.
Yeah, Steve Buscemi singing is freaking fire. But that Grow Old With You sums up the whole point
Yeah,
of Robbie and Julia's story in a perfect little package with a nice pink bow on it.
and it's real life shit. It's I'll even let you hold the remote control, and let's do the dishes, and just it's all real life shit about growing old with somebody and what marriage is like. And it's just so that was why I picked it for our wedding. I was like, this is the song I want to end on and be like, okay, this is how this is how the rest of our lives is gonna go.
How easy would it be to write a love song about a movie that, or about a love that, you know, ooh, let's vacation in the Bahamas and tour
Yeah,
around the world and all of the, have this expensive, lavish, not shaming people for living this way at all, but,
yeah,
all of that. No, it's, I want to make you smile whenever you're sad, carry you around when your arthritis is bad,
yeah. Give you
let's do the
medicine when
dishes in our
it
kitchen
aches.
sink, give you medicine when your tummy aches, build you a fire when the furnace breaks. I'm
Yeah.
literally almost singing the whole freaking song, but
It would be so
I'll
nice
even let you hold the
to
remote
be
control.
with you. Yeah, I mean, it's like, yeah, you can love me when we're on a beach and I'm making your heart sing and rocking your world with my
Yeah.
love-making skills, but can you also love me when I've been puking my guts out from drinking too much and you have to put me to bed and clean up my hair? Like, it's such a real, like, sweet, beautiful, cute song, and yeah,
Well,
just
and that one of the things I love about that song though is it literally takes everything that they've talked about throughout that entire movie,
right.
whether it's she can't hold her alcohol and pukes her guts out, um, you know, everything, and then it brings it all back together. Like he cared enough to pay attention to the details and remember
Right.
all this stuff, and I'm going to weave it perfectly into this ode to you. And
Well, and it's the whole premise of the movie. Like at the very beginning, she says, you know, I just always pictured the right one being somebody I could see myself growing old with. And
yep,
that's the whole underlying element of their love story is that they're realizing, yeah, we're perfect for each other, but we know we'll be perfect for each other in 50 years. And so I don't know. It's just such a sweet song.
it
That
really
being
is.
said, That being said, like I said, I love that song. Perfect way to encapsulate the movie. Had it in my own wedding. Nothing but love. The best song in this movie
Is not
is
that so? Well, I mean,
But It All Was Bullshit. It was a goddamn joke. And when I think of you, Linda, I
I
hope
hope you fucking choke.
I love where he's like, well, I started writing it before we broke up, and then also I've been listening to a lot of The Cure, and so it starts out as so like, "You know how much I need you. When we kiss, I know you need me too. I can't believe I found a love so pure and true. But it all was bullshit. Somebody Kill Me, Please is a fucking life anthem. Even just the
Yeah,
Somebody Kill Me, Please part. It doesn't have to be the love. It's just the on my knees, Pretty,
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 please
kill
kill
me.
me.
Put a bullet in my head. All right, I'm done. Seriously,
For
though,
now.
it's such a fucking epic song. It's
I-
like, have you written anything lately? Oh, yes, I have. And then,
No, that's not that they weren't, slowly, falling for each other leading up to that, though. But you look at Drew Barrymore watching him perform that song and the look on her face after he's done, and he's literally bawling his eyes out on the stage because he just openly and rawly exposed himself to the
yeah,
world.
she's like really seeing his pain.
And she's like totally hopelessly falling in love with him at that point. And that's still not even close to the realization point for her to where she realizes
Yeah.
that douchebag Don Johnson Glenn doesn't freaking do it for her.
Why are you playing Peaches? I
My
love
ringtone.
you. And then we get to another quote that I say all the time that George says it. Another one of my favorite, like minuscule side characters, John Lovitz. That guy, so he's fucking hilarious when he's doing the whole, singing, like auditioning. But
Mhm.
when Adam Sandler starts singing that song and he pulls back the curtain and just his face, like he doesn't say anything, he's just like got this face, and then he goes away, and then he comes back. One of my favorite quotes of all time. He's losing his mind, and I'm reaping all the benefits. And he slowly closes the curtain.
He's so freaking evil. And again, he's another one of those people too that Adam Sandler carries along throughout his cinematic journey as well. I mean, John Lovitz has been in countless Adam Sandler movies.
Yeah, and he's also one of my favorite all-time Friends guest stars. Is it dry in
Yeah,
here? Macaroni and cheese. We gotta make this. That's a whole other thing. But yeah, that quote is one I say all the time. He's losing his mind. I'm
and
reaping all
I'm
the
reaping all the
benefits.
benefits.
George and I both say that one a lot.
Yeah, well, George is losing his mind all the time anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
So
Another one I always say, once again, things that could have been brought to my attention yesterday. That
I
information would have been
love
a
that.
lot more useful to me yesterday.
I love that quote, as
Yeah.
well as the whole, one more outburst like that, and I will strangle you with my microphone
Strangle
cord.
you with my microphone cord. Um,
Because literally, like nowadays, everything's freaking wireless anyway. So
yeah.
there's no cord for anything anymore, well, except for my headset.
um, I don't say this as much anymore as wow. I don't say this much any what am I trying to say? I don't say this as much as I used to. Jesus Christ. Whew. Okay. I haven't even had a gummy. But anytime somebody would say
For now,
asshole, I would be like, she made me a present. I am an asshole. The other one I always say for asshole is Linda, you asshole. Completely different movie, but another Linda. And kiss
so
my grits.
I know we kind of sort of said it earlier, but just for our own personal edification, was there anything about this movie that you absolutely hated?
No. I mean, I guess obviously we're
How
supposed
can
to
you
hate.
hate this movie?
Yeah. The only thing I hated was the thing we're supposed to hate. Glenn. That fucking guy. And what's crazy is that like, yes, he's an asshole. Yes, he's a douchebag. He's a cheater. He's all of this stuff. But also, he literally told her he was. All he does the whole movie is literally say how he's only getting married because he feels like he has to. And
Yeah.
this means more to you than it does to me. And like all this stuff. Like, dude, you're
And
not.
he's not even hiding it. He's literally
Yeah, he's
telling
not
it
even
to her
hiding it.
face.
Other than the cheating part, but yeah, that's just, and she
Yeah.
was marrying him for security. That's the only reason. I mean, she gets mad about it when he calls her out, but when Robbie calls her out, not Glenn. But yeah, I mean, she's doing what we were taught to do, which was, you know, be a good girl, marry a guy, be a good wife, get financial security, blah blah blah, while they go cheat on you and do drugs and whatever. If I had to get married in the 70s or 80s, it better have at least come with Quaaludes, because
Mm,
Um,
yeah.
so yeah, it's like I hate him and I feel bad for her, but also he's not even trying to hide that he doesn't really give a fuck about you. Like he's just doing the thing that you're supposed to do, which is get married, and he knows
Yeah.
that he can continue to have his cake and eat it too, but of course she wouldn't be able to. I
No,
love
and weren't they
um
together for like what 4 years
yeah, something like
before?
they were engaged for 2 at least. What
Yeah.
is the name of the
So
girl? Is it Holly? Heidi? Christine Taylor's character. I completely blanked on her name.
Holly,
But she was like, "How are you gonna go to the wedding? You'll miss an episode of Miami Vice."
summer reruns.
I love when she's talking about going out with Robbie, and she's like, "Just because he's going out with me doesn't mean he's gonna get laid." And the way their heads both snap, like that was to look at her was just perfectly timed. Like, we talk about comedic timing
Really?
a lot, and for me, that was like it's very subtle. It's not like this hilarious moment in the movie, but it was so perfectly timed with their facial expressions and how they both just looked at her. It cracks me up.
Yeah.
Like she's like, "Okay, yeah, it probably does mean that." She's another one of
Yeah.
my favorite side characters. She was funny.
Well,
And
Christine
Sandler.
Taylor was like during the 90s one of my secret 90s favorites because, you know, I remember watching her on Nickelodeon and, you know,
And see,
several movies.
you might have to tell me because I remember watching The Wedding Singer when it came out, and I was like, "Oh my god, that's Melody from Hey Dude." I haven't seen her since Hey Dude. And then of course she's had like a way bigger, better career since then, but I can't think of anything between Hey Dude and Wedding Singer. That was the first thing I remembered seeing her, and I was like, "Oh, I know her." But yeah, and the
Well, and
mom
besides the
from
fact that she's
Friends, and
Mrs. Ben Stiller.
well, yeah, they were together at the SNL thing. I was so happy because they split up for a while, but I'm glad they're back together. They're so cute. Nobody
Yeah, it's
makes
not
me
very often you
feel good.
see Hollywood couples last as long as they've lasted.
Yeah. Oh, okay. You know what? There is one thing I can say that I didn't particularly care for. Again, a very
Yeah.
little thing, and back then it was just it fit the bit with the rest of the scene because everybody was doing it, but Adam Sandler putting that little girl's hands on his ass was a little creepy. That was a little ick.
Well,
Other than that,
it,
I got nothing.
it was creepy for, you know, the guy to do it to freaking Drew Barrymore too.
Well,
But
yeah, yeah.
I mean, I
But
get the
she,
fact that,
as an adult, didn't grab his hands and put them there. Yeah, it was still
oh
gross, but
no,
him as the adult grabbing that little girl's hands and, like, putting them on his ass cheeks, I was like, "Yeah, that's a little sketch. I don't think we can." But then
it, I
everybody
don't
in the
think it
scene is doing
needed
it.
to be there.
No, it didn't. We could have done without that. Um,
So
I forgot the one other one I say all the time. Whoopity-doo!
that pops up from time to time in my vocabulary as well.
Love stinks. That whole scene is funny.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
that's one
Um,
of those songs that I will go around from time to
yeah.
time just because,
He's so sad. He's just like, holiday, celebrate. Poor guy.
yeah, Adam Sandler captures the essence of Robbie Hart so well in this movie.
He really does.
I mean, he makes you laugh. He makes you feel bad for him.
He
He's
makes you
sympathetic.
cry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all of it rolled into one, and it's like I am totally there for it for what, an hour and a half. Well, the
Yeah.
movie, yeah, it's a great freaking movie, and it moves along at you know
Yeah. It
such a
moves
good pace. It's like it doesn't drag at all
right.
from beginning, middle to end. It flows from point A to point B to point B, C all the way through, and then also before you know it, it's like you know Steve Buscemi singing "True" and roll the credits.
I can
Radio
never
killed the radio star.
I can never hear True without singing Robbie and Julia. It's like after watching the Eras tour, there's certain things in Taylor Swift songs that I can't not do. Like when singing "You Need to Calm Down," she's like, "Let me see your hands." Like it's stuff that's not part of the original song, but you've watched it so many times that it becomes part of it for you. That's part of this song. I cannot hear True without singing that at the
I
end.
will say this until I'm blue in the face. I know it's not what the freaking line of the song is, but it's so deeply embedded in the back of my head that I cannot hear blank space without hearing "Call All My Starbucks Lovers."
Yeah. Yeah, she has a lot of misheard lyrics, but that's probably one of the biggest ones.
Well, and the fact that it's one of those that literally, like I said, it's so ingrained in the back of my head
Yeah,
that I don't hear "Got a Long List of Ex Lovers,"
right.
which is what the line is.
Right, and once you know what because I will admit when I first heard Blank Space, I didn't think it said Starbucks lovers, and I think that kind of came a joke, but I could not really understand what she was saying. But once you get it and it clicks with the rhythm, it perfectly makes sense. Got a long list of ex-lovers. It just a lot of her songs she sings opposite of the beat. Maybe not so much in that one, but there are other songs that she does that where sometimes it's hard to get the rhythm because it's
Yeah.
not going the way you think it should. Um, Lavender Haze is one of my other misheard, and actually I sing it this way just because it's funny. And she says, "I feel a lavender haze creeping up on me or creeping over me," but the misheard lyric was, "I feel 11 turkeys creeping up on me," and I just sing it like that because it's funnier.
11 turkeys? Wow, gobble gobble.
Yeah. So, but yeah, this is just another it's a movie that it's so ingrained into my psyche that I cannot hear True and not hear Steve Buscemi. Like I will sing it at the end of the song because
Yeah.
it's part of the song now. It's his. I don't know what to tell you. Sorry, Spandau Ballet.
And yeah, no, Robbie and Julia.
Because he's trying to rhyme it, but he's gonna like yeah. He was really funny. The guy that played Sammy was really funny. Um, I love when he's talking about like Fonzie and Vinnie Barbarino, and he's like, "You know what happened to them?" He's like,
Their show
"Barbarino,
got
the
canceled.
Mechanical Bull movie." I don't know. I haven't seen it. Like, Urban Cowboy. There's so many subtle references to other '80s stuff. I love it.
Oh, yeah. No, yeah, like Freddy Krueger pops up, freaking Billy Idol pops up, freaking the music, the the
The
backups, the keyboard player George that
the Pizza
dresses
Hut
like
lamp in his
Boy George.
basement.
Yeah,
The Pizza Hut chandelier. Like
yeah.
yeah, just it's perfect. It's perfect. The clothes, like just everything. But
The freaking
Holly and her
creepy ass,
Madonna, like just I
yeah,
love it.
the creepy ass freaking Paul Anka looking brother-in-law that likes to have his nipples tweaked.
And he is so Jersey. He is always wearing that mafia Jersey velour sweatsuit.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I just loved it. Was there anything that you didn't like?
No, this movie is probably, if I was to do a top five list as to most perfect movie start to finish, in my opinion, this movie would probably make my top five list.
Yeah, I agree. I said that to George before I came to record. I was like, this movie is literal perfection. Like, I have zero bad things to say about it other than, that one part doesn't age well. But I am sure that if Adam Sandler is who I think he is, I am sure that little girl was made very comfortable and was not forced to do anything she didn't want to do.
Oh, yeah, no.
So
Adam Sandler's not
I don't
a
feel
creepy pervert like that.
bad about it, and it was just like it gave me the ick now, which is fine, but it's not a reason to not like the movie. So
No. No, I'm literally, while you were talking, sitting here thinking about like my all-time favorite movies, and I'm going down the list, and I can find flaws in just about everything. But like we said, about the only flaw in this movie is the creepy ick factor in that one scene.
right. And it's very quick. It's very, and it again, not defending having a like 12-year-old girl touch a grown man's ass, but they make sure that it looks like it's supposed to happen because every single person on the dance floor is doing it. The old people, even
Yeah.
Sammy and the chef guy are doing. So it's clearly very much supposed to be a comedic thing. Like it's not, it wasn't just for ick's sake. It wasn't just for,
No, I mean they
surprise.
clearly,
It
okay,
was a
we know we're going here, but here's what we're gonna make it an entire ballroom thing,
yeah.
so that we take the attention off of the fact that he literally just put this child's hands on his ass.
Yeah. The old people doing it. Um, another so this is one of those movies too, like I've talked about this before. After college, I had a roommate and a little group of friends, and we watched a lot of Kevin Smith movies. But this was another one that we had on repeat all the time. So this definitely in my top 5 favorite rom-coms and might be close to number 1. It just anytime it's on, it doesn't matter what part of the movie it's in, I can turn it on, I can watch it, I can be happy. It
Yes.
doesn't have so many cuss words that it's like okay, I was talking about We're the Millers earlier in our chat, and it's on Comedy Central, so it's like movies like that are hard to watch on TV because the cussing adds to the comedy and you can't really, but this movie is one of those that isn't really like that. It's not,
No, there's cussing in this movie,
there
but
is, but it's not gratuitous.
and it doesn't drive the dialogue.
Right.
It's like you could censor out the cussing, and as long as you don't do a butcher job of the censoring,
Right.
everything still happily scissors together.
The only other quote I was going to mention that I used to say a lot, I don't say anymore, but I say, not porno tongue, church tongue.
Oh Lord, porno tongue, because
And then
yeah,
they have that beautiful,
yeah,
their chemistry is just so adorable, like right from the beginning. Like
yeah.
obviously, you go into this movie knowing it's going to be a rom com, probably between them. But if you didn't know that, even just as a friendship level, their chemistry is like they get each other like immediately, and it's just you have to have that in real life at least a little bit, or you can't do that on screen. I mean, they
No,
have it. Meg Ryan and Tom Hanks, Kate Hudson and Matthew McConaughey. Like there are certain people that have that chemistry that can just play off each other so well, and they're definitely. I mean,
well, and I've seen video clips from her talk show, and she's referenced the fact numerous times of how close their personal relationship is off set together.
yeah,
Like they are really good friends. They spend time together, on holidays and whatnot.
yeah,
So, you know,
and it
that
feels really innocent. Like even though in the movie it's a
yeah.
love story, just like in 50 First Dates, they're just overall general chemistry is very friendly and innocent and like they just click with each other. And so it's like
Mhm.
I would never like. Yes, I would love them to be married in real life. I think it would be adorable. But I also don't get the they're attracted to each other and want to be together kind of thing that you get with some actors. Like,
Yeah.
and maybe that's why they're like Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan because they have the good chemistry. But
Jen and David.
yeah, it's not well. But those two wanted to date each other in real life for a bit. When I found that out, it broke my heart. They could have been real life Ross and Rachel without all the drama.
They could have been real life Ross and Rachel while they were filming
Yeah.
TV Ross and Rachel.
I want Jennifer Aniston to be married to Jason Sudeikis. I think they have really good chemistry too. Again, I know I just watched We're the Millers, but even in Horrible Bosses, like, and that's a wild character for her. That's not, but they just, and Jennifer Aniston and Adam Sandler actually have pretty cute chemistry too, now that I think about it. They're not as
They've done a
believable
couple
together,
movies.
but
Yeah.
it's Jennifer
But
Aniston.
they've done a movie or two together.
Yeah.
So I mean, I would ask, what about this movie you absolutely love? But I think
Everything.
we've done a pretty
Yeah.
good job of probably for the last 40 minutes
Yeah.
kissing this movie's ass. Not that that's a bad thing because this movie deserves to have its ass kissed, but
Yeah, I love everything about it. It's perfection in my opinion. Um so what top 5 did you do?
I have top 5 '80s love songs and then top 5 Adam Sandler quotes.
Did we not do 80s love songs for Can't Buy Me Love?
I don't remember if we did or not, but I
Okay.
went with it anyway.
That's cool.
Because the love songs in the '80s are so freaking great.
There's so
That,
many.
yeah, exactly. You
Let's
can't
try
shake a stick and not, you know, whatever. So I'm
okay.
pulling my list up as we speak.
I chose top 5 Drew Barrymore movies. So,
Great topic.
yay, we'll have different ones. For
Okay.
people who aren't familiar, we have decided to blend in the SIP list a little bit and choose a top 5 that's somewhat related to the movie that we're talking about, and we do it at the end of the show. So this is the part where
Yeah.
we do that.
So, would you like to go ahead and start yourself?
Sure. So I have to do 2 honorable mentions first, really quick, because they were hard to leave out, but I did. So my 2 honorable mentions are Charlie's Angels. Yeah, I don't give a fuck. I love that movie. Don't come at me. And Whip It. My number 5 is Ever After. Love that movie so much. Number 4 is 51st Dates. Number 3 is Never Been Kissed. Number 2 is E.T. And number 1 is The Wedding Singer.
I would say, I wonder what the number 1 movie
I mean, and I might throw He's Just Not That Into You into an honorable mention. I didn't do that because it's such an ensemble thing, but her parts in it are really cute. She's just
True.
a really cute, like she's just a good comedic actor, but she's also, I mean, again, Ever After, I mean, it's emotional and there's parts where it like breaks your heart when that woman she burns the book that her dad gave her or something, and like, I mean, it's rough. So she can do it. Riding in Cars with Boys is really good. That's more of a dramatic movie, but yeah.
Yeah. No, I love Drew Barrymore. Ever since I saw her in E.T. Drew Barrymore, Kelly Clarkson, same level in my opinion.
Oh, and they both have talk shows. What do you know?
Damn right. Both of them are welcome to come on an evening at the movies whenever they want, as well. Let's see, my '80s love songs that I have. Honorable mention. Um, a little song by Spandau Ballet called "Drew."
Oh, nice.
Cyndi Lauper, "Time After Time."
Romeo Michelle.
At number 5, I've got the Bangles, "Eternal Flame."
Good one.
Um, Shout out to another Adam Sandler movie with this one. But my number 4, Lionel Richie and Diana Ross, Endless Love.
Remind me to tell you a story about that after you're done.
Okay. Shout out to the fact that that movie's being sequelized here rather quickly on the Netflix as well. So, yay, Happy Gilmore too. What was that? 4. So I'm on 3. Brian Adams, Heaven.
Oh, good one.
Number 2, Foreigner. I Want to Know What Love Is.
Nice.
And number 1, shout out to I Did Not Make These Rankings Podcast Network cohort and host of Love is Black and Men Are the Prize, Harvandre Laguerre. Would you like to wager a guess as to what my number 1 is?
I'm pretty sure it's Peter Cetera or Chicago.
No.
What? It's not Glory of Love?
No, because I think you're right. I think we did do 80s love songs on Can't Buy Me Love, and I think
Pretty sure we did.
did
I was
have
trying to find my list, but I can't find it. But anyway, yeah. Okay.
Wham! Careless Whisper.
Oh, nice. Never gonna dance again.
Yeah, well, Harvey's Guilty Feet have absolutely no rhythm.
Oh, I'm sure Harvey has rhythm. He's our age. He grew up on 80s music, and he's a black man. By default, he's got to have rhythm, right? Until proven otherwise, that's my assumption.
True.
I have never known a black man or woman in my life, for that matter, that does not have rhythm. Yes, my jealousy level is high, clearly. And I don't know if you can tell. The rhythm does not get me. It kills me and knocks me down and breaks my bones.
So the other top 5 lists that I came up with was Adam Sandler quotes. And I'm just going to go through it really quick because there's
just
so
from
many.
This movie or all of them?
I didn't go from this. I tried to go from all of them, but at the same time, it's like I feel like my whole top 5 list is very focused on probably 3 movies.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'll go through my top 5 list, and you can tell me how many movies I cover with this list because
all right,
I went through and looked, and it's like there's so many freaking quotes. My number 5, The Price is Wrong, bitch.
Yes.
Number 4, Stop Looking at Me, Swan.
That's my number 1. I have said it. I say it all the time. Okay. I even got Abby saying it when she was younger.
So let's see. Next up, we have, Sir, one more comment like that, and I will strangle you with my microphone wire.
One more outburst.
Next up, we have, well, I have the microphone and you don't, so you will listen to every damn word I have to say.
Nice.
And my number 1 Adam Sandler quote would be the entirety of the song, I Want to Grow Old with You.
Mm. What day is it? October?
Nudie Magazine Day.
And shampoo is better. Conditioner is better. Not cool unless you pee your pants. Billy Madison is just another one of those movies that's so quotable. And again, one my college friends and I watched on repeat. Just, ugh. I've probably seen Billy Madison more times than I've seen Happy Gilmore.
How are we into the 4th year of this show and we have not talked about Billy Madison?
I don't know.
Or Happy Gilmore. Or freaking the fact we're just now getting to the Wedding Singer.
Yeah. Doyle rules. We got to do Billy Madison.
The Water Boy got pushed off because of, emotions after the witness protection program.
Oh, that's right. We didn't actually do the Water Boy. Okay.
No, there's so. I mean, we may need to do an Adam Sandler month on this show.
We could. We could do Click. Not Click. Not Click. What's the one? Click is good, but that's not the one I'm thinking of. What's the one? Pixels. We have to do Pixels. I like Pixels. It's cute.
So much that we can do, and all of that. I mean, I know what the numbers are going to be for this, but do you have a overall rating that you would like to give this movie?
5 out of 5. 0 notes.
Hi, Griffey.
I've already said everything. Yeah, I mean, it makes me cry, laugh till I cry, and cry because I'm happy. And yeah, it's a great roller coaster of comedy and emotion, and again, a love letter to one of my favorite decades. So yeah, chef's kiss. Mwah.
So that was 5 out of 5. What?
5 out of 5 meatballs. Oh, those meatballs are fucking massive. I was talking to George about that. I'm like, who serves meatballs that big? And who serves meatballs with no fork or plate? But yeah, whatever. Those meatballs were huge.
You can put them in your hand.
And then she grabs his hand and she's squeezing him. Yeah, 5 out of 5 Rosie's meatballs.
Yeah, I mean, for the same purpose. I mean, everything that you said, we've said throughout this whole entire episode. This movie is fucking phenomenal. It's funny, it's emotional, it's everything that you want in a rom com.
Yes.
And I'm gonna give it 5 out of 5 microphone wires.
Nice.
Just because, wow, it's one of those movies that I feel like somewhere in my heart I want more of the story, and I want to see, you know, Robbie and Julia, 10 years later. Although, well, I guess with makeup and AI and all that, they could do 10 years later.
I don't know about that. I think we
But
would have to be looking at their kids at this point.
probably because it's been, what, almost 30 years since that movie came out.
Yeah.
God damn, we're old.
Yep.
This really is not. I love an evening at the movies to death, but doing the research for all of these movies is not helping my feeling of being young at heart anymore.
It's a constant reminder of how old we are.
Because yeah, no, it's like February 13th, 1998, and it's like, oh, okay. Oh, wait, that's like 27 years ago. Literally to the day almost. And it's like, fuck, we're old.
Yeah.
So, and I'm older than you are, but Harvey's older than me, so haha.
There you go. That's all that matters. It's always somebody older.
Exactly. So, with all of that said, though, this was a lot of fun. I am enjoying rom com month. Uh,
Guess it's over now. Or no, we
look,
still have Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
we, depending upon when we want to cram that in, I mean,
If we can. If not, I mean, we could cover that movie anytime, and we better because it's another one of my favorite movies.
oh no, absolutely. If we don't get Forgetting Sarah Marshall done before the end of the month, I feel like that's one of those that we could probably easily throw into, you know,
Yeah.
next month and fill out the schedule with that in there because it's one of those that we have promised and the listeners voted on. So we probably should get it done anyway. But
Because I'm ready to sing Inside of You, inside of you. I long to be, is it wrong to be inside of you?
uh, uh, that movie is so fucking hilarious.
So, it sounds like Elvis shared a lot of needles, so thanks for sleeping with him after me.
Uh,
Yeah, that's another
so,
movie I love to quote, and Jason Segel is one of my favorite comedic actors too. So yeah,
Mhm.
and Russell
Helicopter,
Brand,
that's
the
all I
hot
have
mess
to
he
say.
is still funny.
Helicopter, need I say more?
I got a surprise for you, and it's like, good for you, shalom, shalom. Actually, I don't know
So,
if he's Jewish, but
no,
Paul Rudd is, and he's in the movie, so there you go. There was
this,
a couple of work friends I have, and we
yeah,
used to always quote the look like you got some sadness behind those eyes. So we would always say that whole part. And my favorite that I say all the time, oh, the weather outside is weather. So yeah, we got to do it just so we can have another episode like this.
true. So, we can't wrap up the episode, as always, without thanking the listeners for being here each and every month, or each and every week,
I was
not
gonna
even
say,
month. You guys are amazing, and I won't let this one go yet either, but the fact that we have reached our first 400 viewed episode ever,
woo!
I appreciate that. And the fact that it was our anniversary episode as well. And, Fever Pitch is building at a steady pace too, and is right catching up, nipping at its heels. So we're
Kendra
doing great,
is always
great
good
numbers each and
on
every week. Kendra is an amazing guest to have, and I can't wait to have her back. I can't wait to have her husband on the show. I can't wait to have lots and lots of. Speaking of newness on the show, though, really quick, we are. I already said, forgetting Sarah Marshall and Jen's birthday episode, Harry Potter 6, is coming up on an evening at the movies.
Harry
But
Potter sex?
also Harry
What?
Potter 6.
You need to enunciate,
Jen's birth.
dude.
Jen's birthday
I
movie
need to
is
get
Harry
my mind
Potter
out of
and
the
the
gutter. That's not happening.
Half-Blood Prince.
Okay.
So, also starting next month, we came up. Well, I came up with an idea, and Amanda fell in love with it. But because if you look at our little background up above both of our heads, we are horroraholics.
True
We're
story.
also, yes, very much so. We're gonna start a new concept with horror movie of the month.
See? Horror?
Like,
Horror? There's some horrors in this house. More horrors. Ooh, look how it's automatically doing that for me. That's so cool. Okay, sorry.
nice.
My new Microsoft Surface has this automatic zoom. Sometimes it's creepy, but other times it's like, hey. All right, anyway.
So starting next month, I think our first horror movie of the month is probably going to be Heretic because it's been
Yeah.
promised and all of that. But then our second horror movie of the month has been teased for a long time. It's been discussed for a long time. It is Pancake Nipples and Killer Robots. We will talk about Chopping Mall on
Finally.
in April. So, but that doesn't change the fact also that Stephen King birthday bonanza month in September, Halloween Horror Fest in October. That still stays the same, but the rest of the year we'll do a horror movie a month that way because it's what we are, it's what we love, and it'll be something easy for the return of Chancey Grife to jump back into when he comes back to the world out of witness protection program. So
And we could pick a couple of months of a theme. Like we could, Chopping Mall, and then we could do a couple more like B crappy movies like Aqua Slash and Dead Hooker in a gray or in a trunk or whatever. I don't know.
not rubber.
Well, we already did Rubber. Okay, what was the one I watched the other day that I thought we should do? Crap. Because I watched Piranha 3D, which I hadn't seen, and it was mildly entertaining. And for a movie of that caliber, it had a really popular cast. But there was another movie I was watching. Oh, it was about sand. Maybe it was just called The Sand. That might have been what it was called. So picture Creepshow 2, the oil slick story, where the kids are in the lake and the oil slick is killing them. It's like that, but it's on sand. So it's killer sand.
Huh.
It was pretty entertaining. I'm not gonna lie.
Nice. We might have to check that out.
It was a Shutter. No, it was Tubi. It was on Tubi. Tubi's got some low class horror movies that are pretty decent.
I mean, Shudder as well.
Well, yeah, that too. I didn't even mean to watch Piranha 3D, or I really think it's just called The Sand, but I'll look it up. But I was watching something else and I was like doing something and it was just on in the background. And then I was like, oh, the Piranha movie was, I mean, Elizabeth Shue was in it. I was like, okay, well. And then, yeah.
Alley with an Eye.
I made a night of it, and that Sand movie was not terrible. So.
By the way, speaking of Alley with an Eye, co-host, how goes your binge?
It has not. We ended up binging Chuck last night instead of. Yes, we binged a show we've already seen instead of Cobra Kai. We need to watch Cobra Kai. Does Alley with an Eye make more appearances?
No, I'm not gonna spoil it. So
I know, don't. I've been skipping TikToks, skipping spoilers, even though I did watch the one TikTok. But again, just with movie context, it was fine to watch. It didn't give away.
You made it as far as you did without seeing that freaking clip.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because you didn't share that with me until, what, 2 or 3 days ago?
Yeah, I just saw it the other day.
And Cobra Kai's been out for 10 days, a week, just over a week. It was a Valentine's Day thing.
Yeah.
So
okay, it's just called Sand. That movie.
Just Sand.
Just Sand. Like, just check.
Oh Lord! So
all right, I have to pee.
Lots of great stuff is coming up on an evening at the movies, and yes, bladders are full, and it's time to move on. But this was a lot of fun.
It was.
What are you taking a picture of?
Pearl. She's sitting in the windowsill in between my Taylor Swift heart hand statue and my Michael Myers plushie. So I was going to send it to you.
Okay.
She also loves some horrors.
Pearl is a whore.
She's an asshole.
I am
an asshole. See? I told you.
So, lots of fun. We will be back next week for something. I'm not sure exactly what, because I know Jen has a birthday coming up early in March, and I don't know what her availability is. So if we're doing the Half Blood Prince, somebody won't be here.
I may try to find time to watch them all. I'm really having to get hard into the house stuff now. We've got to get our house ready to sell. And I've got lots of purging to do and I've got to get a handyman to come do some stuff, and just they started framing on our new house, so shit's about to start moving real fast. So, but I may try to find time. Georgia's already watched all the Harry Potters, so maybe I just need to. The problem is now is I'm going to have to start over. I really don't want to watch the second one again, so maybe you guys can just like fill me in. I thought it was kind of boring and I actually fell asleep. So, but I've heard that's the only one that's kind of boring.
Yeah.
Because it's not that I didn't like it. It's just a lot of time to commit to, and I just need to make myself do it.
Oh, most of those movies are 2.5 to 3 hours long.
Exactly.
So, and
all right.
Once you get through 6, then you've got, a 5-hour long movie to get through, which is basically Deathly Hallows.
Oh, but it's 2 parts.
Right? Yeah, 2 parts put together, so 2.5 hours plus 2.5 hours as they're together.
I won't be watching them together.
Ooh.
Oh, is it that good?
I wouldn't say that per se, because by the time you get done with, I really think once you get to part 3 and start going that direction, you're gonna start.
Okay.
It's gonna be hard to start putting it down. So,
Okay.
dragging our feet, no more. Cut,
Yes.
tie, wrap it up, put a bow on it. Co-host, take us home.
All right, everyone. Thanks for watching and listening. We appreciate you, and we hope you enjoyed this, and we hope you all come back for an evening at the movies. Goodbye.
Peace and hair grease.